Welcome to another Ageless Energy show. I'm your host, Drew Tadia, and I'm excited to dive in here. Today, we're talking about the benefits of MCT oil for women 40 plus. This is an important topic women go through during this age or this phase in their life. Maybe that's a better way to put it. There is a lot of brain fog, digestion issues, lack of energy, hormones that need to be balanced. And MCT oil can help with all of those. So we're going to dive in and I'm going to share some insights with you to give you a better idea of which MCT oils to use, the differences, how to use it, etc. So if you're not sure who I am, my name is Drew Tadia, founder and CEO of True Form Life. For the past 20 years, we've been helping women 40 plus increase energy, burn body fat, and balance hormones. So if that's you, you have come to the right place. We're going to dive in here. This is a live interactive show, at least for those that are watching live. Questions are always welcome, and yeah, if you have any questions, otherwise you can ask afterwards. And of course, you may be watching this as a replay, possibly on YouTube or on our podcast. So I'm going to dive in here, and we're going to get started. So, the very basics of a healthy fat that digests fast can fuel your body and your brain. So, the problem with some type of fats is that they digest slowly and they digest, how can I say, they don't digest well. So, they actually cause digestion issues. So, you have different levels of fats that digest. So, you have a fat that digests slowly, and I wouldn't call it an unhealthy fat. You have other fats like a rancid oil, for example, that actually causes cellular damage on your body. So we have to understand that there's different types of fats, there's different levels of fat. Some are pretty healthy, some are really healthy. And when you look at the different types of fats, I suppose for me, MCT oil is always at the top of the list. Now, you have to take that with a grain of salt because there's not all MCT oils are not the same. So I'm going to explain that here, but I think it's important to understand that the differences from other fats is that some are quickly absorbed, they go straight to the liver, and then are converted to energy. Okay. So why is this important, or why does this matter? Because as women get to the menopausal type of state, and it could be, I mean, there's different types of menopause, and there's different types of menopausal states that you're going to go through. And I think it's important to understand that your body needs something different at different times in your life. So it may not, like MCT oil or energy or balancing hormones, it may not be as important earlier on in your life as it is now. A lot of women come to us and they have no idea what's happening. They're like, I've never had to work out. I've never had to change my diet or eat differently. And now I'm accumulating body fat and I don't know what to do about it. So that's one thing. Or it's night sweats. I have all of these night sweats and I don't recognize myself and my moods are all over the place. What's happening? So those are hormone imbalances, and there's things that we can do about that. And that's why I'm here to help explain. And this is just a tool. So we as a company, as a brand, we believe in holistic wellness as a whole, not just supplementation. But if you look at MCT oil on its own, you can use it as a tool to help you improve your overall well-being and reduce some of these symptoms I'm talking about. So if you look at energy and fatigue, hormone changes often mean dips. So you have different levels of hormones that are kind of being ignited at different times or spiking at different times, depending on different phases. MCT oil offers a steady lift without relying on sugar or caffeine. So you may go through a different phase in your cycle, could be a different phase in the month, and you may have extra low energy. And you feel like, oh, I'm lazy or I'm unmotivated. But really, it's it's really your hormone imbalances that's happening, and there's things that you can help. So instead of grabbing a caffeine, like you could grab your coffee, drink your coffee if you like. You could drink an energy drink. I would highly suggest not having an energy drink, but we are looking for different tools to help spike our energy because we feel like we have such low energy. So you can look at something like an MCT oil that will give you a more of a natural, sustained level of energy without the spike or without the crash. And the problem there is that if you're looking at blood sugar levels, the more the more your blood sugar levels spike, the more dangerous that is for your overall health. So we want to avoid the spikes, and we want to have a more consistent level of energy. So hopefully that's helpful. Then when we look at hormone balancing, like hormone balancing in particular, healthy fats are building blocks of hormones. You can think of that. So you need healthy fats in your body. They're great for your brain, they're great for your joints. Healthy fats help burn bad fats. There's so many benefits to fats. And I'm not 100% sure where the fear of fats came from or where in history that started. Maybe around like the butter margarine war. But MCT oil helps support smoother transitions through, so this can help with mental clarity and memory. So MCT oil is one of the few fats that is processed very differently in the body than other fats. That's why it's so important, and that's why it's a fast acting fuel and can directly improve your brain health. Now, if we were to look at metabolism in particular, I feel like this is kind of something that we specialize in. Our main our main program is called our Metabolism Accelerator program. I've been teaching women how to increase their metabolism for years so they can help burn body fat. But if you're looking at metabolism and weight changes in particular, many women realize, as I mentioned earlier, that it's harder to lose weight after 40. Like all these changes are happening to their body, not really sure what to do or what's happening. And that's where we come in and offer information that seems to be hard to find in other places. So MCT oil actually helps burn body fat more efficiently. So I talked about the different fats. You have good fats, you have bad fats, healthy fats. MCT oil is one of those fats that can help you actually burn more body fat. I have this interesting story. It's probably hard to believe, but we were working with this one individual, and we believe in four macros. So this is what we teach. So in most of your meals, if not all of them, you have a protein, you have a carb, you have a fat, and a fiber slash antioxidants, which most companies, experts, nutritionists kind of forget about. And they would have a mixture of all macros except fats. And it was the fear of fats. And most people have a fear of one of the macros. They usually don't get enough protein in most cases. That's women, which is super important because your muscle mass is disintegrating at a rapid rate, especially after 40. You have some of those that are a fear of carbs, which we believe in complex carbs are beneficial in many different ways. We can talk about that in another show. But fats in particular, she was having almost zero fats because she was told that she shouldn't have fats, or she thought that if she ate fat, she was going to eat fat, she was going to get fat. And what happened was, after a 10-day period, she lost between 7 and 8 pounds. And all she did, the only change was that she started adding fats to her diet. And it was so eye opening for her. Of course, she's continued to eat fats on a regular basis because it was very clear to her that if by cutting out fats you lose the ability for many options or many opportunities to see results, but the bad fats kind of, I don't know, it's not like they kind of eat the good fats, kind of eat the bad fats and help you burn body fat. So that's part of your metabolism, and it's a bit more in depth for another training, but it's important to understand that you need the fats, and in my opinion, you need all the macros as well. Okay, now when we look at digestive health, MCT oil is fantastic for digestive health. So when we're looking at balancing hormones, much of that resides in your gut. So once we start to clean up the gut microbiome, everything starts to flow properly, removing we had one of our clients that used to drink a bottle of Pepto-Bismol every 2 days. Or every 3 days, something crazy like that. And we started to clean up her nutrition. We cleaned up her diet. She started to actually build a gut microbiome. Part of that has to do with fermented foods, probiotics, and she stopped taking Pepto-Bismol, which is amazing. So a lot of women are dealing with heartburn, acid reflux at this stage in their life. And then the kind of the other side of this, the pendulum or spectrum is there's diarrhea and constipation. Also, those are both gut issues. And without having proper digestion, you're not able to balance your hormones properly. So once we start to balance those hormones, that menno belly starts to go away. And you see that, like some of our progress pictures you may have seen, you actually see that bloat in the belly area from women. It's like almost like an inflamed state. So another benefit from MCT oil is the anti-inflammatory properties. It's also going to help improve digestion. So there's a number of benefits here. But MCT oil is much easier to digest. And then you look at all the other benefits through hormone balancing when we start to get your digestion on track. And inside our MAP program, we have an entire digestion course that we put everyone through because it's that important. Okay, we are cruising along here. How to use MCT oil. One of my favorites, or maybe one of the reasons it's one of my favorite fats, or the, I would say it's probably the best fat. MCT oil, maybe avocado. Avocados, like as a whole, avocado, the fruit, is up there. Morning, Cheryl. As a favor. But if we look at how to use MCT oil, what's great about it is its versatility. So number one is that there's no taste to it, there's no smell to it. At least there shouldn't be. And it's also liquid at room temperature. If you put in the fridge, it's going to turn into a solid, which you don't really want. So that's nice about the storage benefits here. You don't have to store MCT oil in the fridge like some other oils. Like for example, like a fish oil. Your fish oil pills, like those clear plastic fish oil pills you buy at Costco, those are rancid. The clear plastic damages, like this, the light damages the oils. So you have these little like translucent pills and there's nothing to protect it. They'd be better off putting that gel, they sometimes they have brown gel caps. They'd be better off putting the MCT or the fish oils in the brown, so it'd have less damage from the sunlight. But the bottle has to be brown. Should probably be glass, if possible. And then on top of that, that should go in the fridge. And then if you're going to take fish oil pills, because of the hard metals, mercury in the ocean, you have to take chlorella with it. So anyone that's taking fish oil pills, you should be taking chlorella to match or to kind of take out anything you don't want in that fish oil pill. That's why I like an MCT oil. MCT oil is much different. It's medium chain triglycerides from coconuts. And I probably have this in my notes here later. But I do. Okay, let me try to stay on track here. I got this. I have my whole outline planned out and then I always deviate. So you can actually put your MCT oil. This is my morning tea. This is a pu'er tea and a green tea. It's one of my favorites. Tim Ferriss, he has some clear research around how this tea can help reduce cancer cells, which is something I feel like we all are dealing with at some point in our life, or will be, just because of so many toxins in and around our community, our environment. MCT oil can go in your coffee, it can go in your tea, it can go in your shaker cup. MCT oil has a low smoke point or high smoke point. Regardless, you want to cook on it on low. If you're going to cook with it, it needs to be on low temperatures. Okay. There's different oils for higher smoke points. I got it right now. A higher smoke point oil would be like a coconut oil. That is the white. It's white. It's solid at room temperature, and it tastes like coconut. I think that's really a strong benefit of MCT oil because I hear from people and they're like, "Does it taste like coconut?" Because I don't like the taste of coconut, and I'm like, "Don't worry, it doesn't taste like coconut. It doesn't taste like anything." So what I was saying was is that just the versatility of the different uses of MCT oil. So tea, coffee, you can put in your shake, you can put in your smoothie. You can put it on. We used to have these self sprayers on our website, but a few people had problems with the sprayers, and it was just kind of a mess. It's not really our jam, like containers or. So we stopped selling them. But you can, if you want to buy your own spray top, and you can spray it on salad, you can spray it on popcorn. It's a really cool benefit. We did that for years. We just stopped kind of recommending it because people ran into issues with the sprayer. And I'm like, I don't want to troubleshoot, or half of our customer service was going towards the sprayer top instead of answering questions about supplements. Didn't want to do that. So if you're dealing with a afternoon crash, for example, MCT oil, fantastic. We put MCT oil in our afternoon concoction with Magdin, great for brain health. We take spirulina tabs. Like, there's so many benefits, and I guess that's why some of you are here, but there's so many benefits to taking natural supplements. It's like a life hack. If you're lacking energy, you can take some supplements to help improve that instead of going through the synthetic version of drinking a pot of coffee or energy drinks or whatever else people are doing. There's probably some patches or some gummies or some other nonsense out there that we shouldn't be doing. Pre-workout. So this is really good for pre-workouts as well. Depending on when you're working out in the day, I wouldn't suggest, if you're having evening workouts, I wouldn't suggest having MCT oil with maca and creatine right before bed. Like, just doesn't make sense. But if you're going to work out in the morning, like I suggest, or like we teach and train our members and clients, like, that's probably a good move to help fuel your workout. And there's something else I was going to mention there, but let me carry on. If I didn't say salads, I would put MCT oil on salad afterwards. We put it on, I think I mentioned, we put it on popcorn, and then you can put it on eggs afterwards, or if you're going to cook with it, if you cook your eggs in the MCT oil, just cook it on low and slow. Low and slow. Dorothy makes amazing fried eggs, and I'm like, how do you make these so good? And she says low and slow. Okay, let's go to misconceptions. Won't fat make me gain weight? I get this question quite a bit, and it's not. No, that's just not how the body works. It's not how fats work. Like I mentioned my story in the past, like, good fats will increase your metabolism. Good fats eat bad fats. Like, you need fats in your life. You need fats for, like, MCT oil in particular, digestive health. Your joints, many of your joints are screaming for fats. Probably, if you look at, I mean, there's a dozen things you could look at, but if you look at knee pain or knee surgeries, hips, I would imagine if you looked at diets from that in the past, from those people that may need surgeries, I would guess that I'd look at their diets first, and I would guess very low in fats, especially the healthy fats that our body needs. And that's years, right? I'm not talking about, oh, they were healthy for 3 years before their surgery. I'm not like, I'm not telling you not to have surgery. I'm just saying, like, healthy fats are great for prevention. You also have to look at those replacements, like a knee replacement. They're not going to last forever. So you should look at working on your joints in different ways to help improve your joint health regularly, because there's not like a magic pill or a magic potion that's going to change anything overnight. Is it like coconut oil? It's so MCT oils. It's not. Um, so the one that I recommend is from coconuts. So that's why, like, our bottle has a coconut on it. And then some people, medium chain triglycerides, sometimes people relate that straight to coconut oil, and they're like, I don't like coconuts, I don't like the flavor. MCT oil doesn't have flavor, or it shouldn't. You may get a cheap quality MCT oil that smells or tastes a little. I think they smell more rancid than like coconutty, but sometimes people correlate that rancid smell with coconut. If you open up a bottle of coconut oil and it has any smell at all, it's rancid. Same thing with your other oils. Like, they shouldn't have a distinct odor. That usually means there's something wrong. Um, so I suppose that's worth mentioning, or important to understand that this is very different than a coconut oil. And I'm going to explain that here very shortly. But I wanted to mention that there's palm oil. Now, palm oil is processed at a very high temperature, and they do have similar properties. You have very similar properties because they're both medium. They can both be considered medium chain triglycerides, but your palm oil is processed at such a high rate, it becomes rancid. And that rance is that a word? Rancicity. Because of the the rancid oil, it causes damage to our cells. It causes damage to our joints. It causes damage to our digestive tract. And that's often why people say, oh, I've tried MCT oil before, but it upset my stomach. Well, you had a rancid oil. That would upset anyone's stomach. If you have a sensitive stomach, or if you have a lot of digestive issues, you want to start off slowly with anything. It doesn't matter what it is, but sometimes people have too much of one thing from the get-go. It's like when we start working with someone and we'll say, well, it's a good idea to start having a shake because you're not having breakfast, and this is a nice transition. Well, they'll take that shake and either it could be a low quality protein or it could be a better quality protein, but they'll chug it in 3 minutes, and then they'll say, oh, I have a stomach ache, I can't take protein. When in fact, if you had a better quality protein, A, that'd be a good start, and B is to slowly drink your smoothie or shake over 20, 30 minutes. It's much easier for your body to digest, and then you don't feel bloated because you just chugged a glass of smoothie, right? Like, it's if you're looking from the outside, it's pretty clear, but when you don't understand, or you were first starting out, it's hard to um, it's hard to see those little things, and they're like, oh well, I didn't think chewing my food would make that big a difference. Like, if you look at someone at a restaurant, like, most people eat their food in a very short amount of time, and then they deal with the gas and the bloating because their body can't process all that food. Even if so, you have to look at the quality of food. Usually there's appetizers, or maybe it's a clean meal but they're drinking a glass of Coke with it, and that glass of Coke messes with your digestive system because it doesn't help your food process properly. So you, oh well, I had a healthy meal, but you didn't realize you slammed a Coke to go with it. Or even a glass of milk turns to sugar very quickly, doesn't give your body a chance to digest. So you could feel like you're doing the right things, but it's the what do they say? The devil's in the details. You have to pay attention to all the little details that you may not notice that a coach can direct you on. So I guess my notes here when it comes to like your digestion in particular, if you're extra sensitive, then start off slow with anything, including MCT oil. So when you're choosing your MCT oil, you want to avoid palm oils, like I mentioned, or cheap fillers. So the important part here is to read the ingredients. And the problem here is, like, I've seen some MCT oils that don't even list what's on them. So I take them to the clerk and I'm like, where are the ingredients on here? No ingredients. And sometimes they don't even have a ratio. And what I mean by ratio is, so let me explain here. So we have four different carbons when it comes to your MCT oil. We have a C6, 8, 10, and 12. So when you're looking at the benefits of MCT oil, so when someone lists all the benefits, like I just did, or you see another company list all the benefits on their bottle, those benefits are from MCT oil. Or sorry, those benefits are from the C8 carbon. Those, you don't get all those benefits from the other ones. They don't really sell this the six because it's I think it's hard to extract, but it also has a taste and a smell which people don't want. The cheaper versions, and they come more abundantly, is the carbon 10 and 12. So if you go to Costco and you grab an MCT oil off the shelf, it's probably going to be a combo ratio between C 10 and 12. And they might, so if you look at they should have a breakdown on the back. So you might see, like, it could say on the front of the bottle, caprylic acid, that's what C8 is. Or it could say, um, not just caprylic acid, but it could say C8 MCT oil. And then you turn over the back and you look, and it has the ratio. So just like ingredients, the top has the most. So it might say 75% C12 because it's the cheapest. And then it'll say, um, trying to do math in my head while I explain to you. Let's say it says 10% C10, and then it's like whatever the rest is. It might be 5% C8 because that's the cheapest one. So what they've done is watered down your MCT oil, and that's why you may not see, like, this the 10 or 12 may not I mean, it certainly doesn't offer the benefits, but it may cause the digestion issues that you've tried to avoid in the past. Or you may think, oh, all MCT oils give me digestive issues because you grabbed a cheap product at Costco or at your pharmacy and you didn't read the back and didn't understand what was happening. And that's not to say that's your fault. That's marketing. That's the world we live in. It's based around deception instead of truth, which is why we're here to pull back the curtain and tell you exactly what's happening behind the scenes. And their margin is on the on the business end, their margin is way better. So we could go out and we have different levels of MCT oil, right? So we have ours is 100% C8 and it's organic from coconuts. So there's so many different levels. You could get an organic palm oil that's MCT oil, and that's cheaper to buy, so they make more money on a product, right? See, I'm getting passionate about this because the whole industry drives me bonkers around the whole deception. But you could go and you can get MCT oil that you can get a C8 MCT oil that is not organic, less quality than ours, right? You could get a MCT oil that has that they'll say C8 on it, and it'll have very little amount of caprylic acid in it, right? You could also get a product that it has more MCT oil in it, but um, more C8 in it, but but less C10 and a little bit more C12. So my point is here is that what you're looking for is a pure 100% C8 organic if you can. Otherwise, they're messing with watering the product down so they can make the most margin possible because if they put the more C8 they put in there, the more it costs them, the less money they make. So hopefully that's clear enough. That's me nerding out a little bit on the back end, but it's there's a lot to it, and it's really based around marketing and how much money they could make by selling you one product. I'm gonna wrap things up here. I only have last thing here. Um, is basically my um, is basically the conclusion is that if you're a woman in particular over 40 and you're struggling with balancing hormones, lack of energy, brain fog, this is a really good idea to start adding. I would add a teaspoon a day. So that would start like being more consistent daily. That's going to help reduce that brain fog. It's going to help give you energy. It's going to help improve digestion, which is then going to help balance hormones. And that's what we have for you today. We're going to do a little bit of a special, and for those that watch this only, we may consider doing this for the public or at the end of the month. Not 100% sure yet. Our For this month only, our product is MCTO is 20% off. However, we want to do something special for those of you that watch this or watch this replay. We'll put the cap on 2 days. If you buy two MCT oils, you get two MCT oils free. So that's our special offer for you for coming in and joining us live or watching the replay. And if you're watching the replay, we'll offer that as well because there'll just be a cap. So if you're listening to this a week or 2 weeks or 2 months later, I'm going to tell you that deal is over. So to get that coupon, comment below and say, I would like to grab that two MCT oils, and we will send you a special coupon code. Otherwise, all products are found at trueformlife.com, including our services as well. So thanks so much for being here, hanging out, whether you're live, watching the replay, or if you're watching on different platforms. Have a great day, and we'll see you soon.